So we're here today with Kevin from AngryChineseDriver.com, your Wynn's second customer in Canada.
That's right.
And yesterday was the 30-day anniversary of Wynn's launch in the Canadian marketplace. And just wanted to chat with you a little bit about your experience so far. First, I want to ask, why did you sign up with Wynn? Were you looking forward to them for a long time?
Yeah, I've been following them for months, well before the CRTC decision. And things really got heated after the CRTC decision. And I just, I used to be with Rogers, and it's mostly the customer service, because I figured that all the carriers will offer around the same rates as they do right now. It's a bit collusive in the market. And what really bugged me with Rogers was that what they offered, for what I pay for, they're not giving me what I need, and I was tired of taking lip, basically, from customer service. So
Did you have a? I know you have a. This is
a BlackBerry.
Kevin's BlackBerry from Wynn's. What did you have before on Rogers?
I actually had a non-Rogers phone. I got it unlocked from Hong Kong, and one of the reasons why I was fed up with Rogers was because they had some network issues, and they started blaming me for having a non-Rogers phone, and they tried to get me to buy one.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
The big three, I guess, they always find a way to try and get you to... Because you weren't on a contract, I guess, right?
I was on a contract, actually. Oh. So they tried to get me to, I guess, to sign a new 3-year one. And I said no, and then I left.
So you were there on the launch day. Now, is it just coincidence you were the second customer? You just got there early enough to be the second guy?
Yeah, I actually woke up at 5:45 in the morning, because I live in Durham region. So I woke up early, took the GO train there. And I was live tweeting the event for everyone who couldn't go. And actually, I was on the same streetcar as Ken Campbell, who's the CEO of Wind. And I got
he takes the streetcar? Interesting.
Yeah. So I mean, I got to Queens Quay around 8 o'clock in the morning, when launch was 10:30, and I just hung around there for 2.5 hours waiting for them to open.
Yeah, it was interesting when I got there. There was less people initially in the line than I thought there would be.
Yeah.
And then I saw Chris, who was their first customer, as customer number one. And I was really surprised because I haven't seen him for years, and he happens to be the first guy in line. So, you've been with Wynn for 30 days now. Obviously, if people don't know, there have been a few teething troubles with Wynn as far as coverage goes and other issues, but overall, how would you say your experience with them has been for your first month of service?
I would say that it's been exceptional because I mean when I started off, when I first got my phone and I went back home, coverage was spotty, like leopard's print, right?
Yeah.
It was really bad, and so the important thing is that you always, as a Wynn customer, it's a brand new company and a brand new network. You have to call in constantly to report it, and now it's almost like they put a femto cell in my attic because my coverage is really good. So and I've been traveling around the GTA in the past 2 weeks. It's been good in Toronto.
Well, I mean, my counterpoint to that would be, I think it's funny how they keep asking people to call in and report bad coverage, but I mean, shouldn't they have maybe found out where the holes were before they launched?
Yeah, well,
they shouldn't rely on the customers to be the ones doing their job.
Yeah,
right?
it is. I mean, I could see some people getting upset with the fact that they're guinea pigs, right? And that's probably why they offer the first month free, because of all these anticipated problems. But that said, I mean, they were a bit rushed, right? Because the CRTC had turned them down, and so the question was like, should they proceed or should they just call it quits?
Yeah.
Right. And so they were kind of, I think they were kind of in limbo because they were still developing, but not at the rate that they would have liked. So when Tony Clement, dropped the bombshell and said, okay, Wynn can launch immediately,
they kind of rushed into it.
They had to rush because of the Christmas season, right?
Yeah, I mean, and also the possibility that maybe somebody could have blocked his decision,
right?
So they had to launch right away. I mean, it's interesting people talk about their customer service being so great, and they do seem to be quite responsive and friendly to people.
Right.
But, I mean, one of the things I'll be worried about is they grow in size and they have to deal with a higher volume of customer calls and complaints and everything. Do you think maybe you might see their customer service decrease in quality the more people are calling in?
There's always a chance, with more people, they're going to be more busy. There's going to be more hassles. Of course, customer care is going to be, compromised slightly, right? But I think it's more of the attitude of they'll try to, help the customer as much as possible. And I think one of the reasons why they've partially delayed expanding to Edmonton, Ottawa, and Vancouver is because they don't want to repeat what's happening in Toronto and Calgary.
Yeah, they want to get the best experience out of the box. Wanted to bring up the port blocking issue, which is still not 100% solved. Yeah. But for people who are not aware, they initially on their unlimited data plan for phones, there was the inability to use different internet applications, especially on unlocked devices like the N900 and the Nexus One. I think you were one of the people who really spearheaded the campaign on Wind's own site to sort of get them to recognize this. I noticed that. Did you come up with the idea of one post a day, or was that somebody else?
Well, actually, I guess I was one of the first people to do it, but it started off when some Howard Forums members, because we've been complaining about it in Howard Forums for a while, and some of us decided to respond to one of the blog posts, and so I decided that we're all complaining to Wind individually. I think that we should organize some sort of campaign, and I figured that if we were to post the exact same message daily, if each person were to do it, then they would see that it's a serious concern, right? And it's really easy to do, right? You don't have to type your own thing; you just have to copy paste, and it's not. I don't see it as spamming or trolling.
Yeah, I think it's funny how there were some forum members on the Win forum who were complaining that you guys were.
Yeah, we're Well, I mean, I understand that some people might be defensive with Win because there are real trolls in the forum.
Yeah.
So I mean, but the thing is that it's an issue that's been dragged out because, like, tethering, for example, when I first signed up on the first day on the website, it said that tethering was available, and then shortly after they pulled it. And I would call reps. A lot of us called reps, and they didn't have any idea of what port blocking was. They thought that it was something to do with number porting.
Yeah, it seems like there's they still need to sort of educate their reps on technical side, and even the port blocking issue, though it is somewhat being solved, I still think there's a ways to go to totally solve, because I mean there's still some features that don't work. But I mean overall, you seem to be quite happy with them. What would you like to see from Wind in the next 6 months? Where do you think they should be going and focusing their attentions?
I think in the long run, and we're talking maybe 5, 10, 15 years, is that they should focus on data, right? And it's apparent that Globalive as a company wants to focus on data, because there are rumors that they might plan to release their own internet packages, right, to households. And I think that the way that the trend is going with faster networks like LTE with 4G, and with speeds that are so much faster than what we have now, and with smartphones or even superphones as they call them, like the Nexus One, I think that the trend is that we're going to integrate data in our daily lives, right? Just like how cameras and MP3 players became standard in mobile phones, so will Facebook apps and Google Talk and everything that we're used to browsing on the computer. We're going to have it right on our phone, right? So
let's hope. I mean, one of the challenges, I think, to get that everybody to have it, I think the cost of a smartphone has to go down, and the more people that use them, the cheaper they would get.
Right, so. and I mean, I think that it will become the standard, right? Because right now, not everyone's going to have an N900 or a Nexus One, but people they have iPhones and they have apps which use data.
Yeah.
They might not think of it in that way, but they are used to the concept of emailing and browsing and whatnot. And, with newer generations, people who are younger than myself even, they're going to grow up using the internet in virtually all aspects of their life, right? So I think the trend is that data is going to become the preeminent service.
Yeah.
Right.
But definitely Wind is focusing on that with their unlimited data, though, as I said, there are some, catches to that, but I'm sure they'll fix it soon, hopefully. Anyway, I'd like to thank you for stopping by.
Thanks,
and, you're happy with Wind, and I'm actually going to be trying Wind out very soon with a brand new Nexus One that I have coming soon to me. Hopefully I should have it this week.
Yeah.
So I'll be able to give some feedback about my own experiences with Wind. But so far, you know, they're teething troubles, but they're working hard to address them. So thanks very much for coming to see us today.
Thanks for having me.
And you know, we'll look forward to check out angrydriver.com, angrychinesedriver.com.
Yes, that's right.
Thank you.
Thanks.